Hello traders, welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 189. Iliya here. You know what we're going to be doing today. We're going to have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what kind of opportunities we have, and most importantly try to forecast a little bit of what could happen in the upcoming week. Although you know that I'm not a fan of forecasting, I'm a fan of flowing with the markets and really actually allowing for the market to show me what it wants to do. And this is why we also have the flow with the markets Tuesday, so we actually have an update on what happened on Monday. This week was nice. We had some amazing moves. Of course, my first week of the month is a losing one. I took 4 losses and 1 break even. Why? Because I was pretty distracted. I'm writing my graduation thesis right now, so I tend to miss trades. I tend to not be on the charts when the winners are arriving. So I pretty much missed like the 3 winners, and somehow I landed on all the losses. But of course, that's fine. The month just started. We have a whole month ahead of us. So hopefully we're going to continue having some amazing setups. Happy Easter to all of you that are celebrating right now. We have an Easter weekend, of course, bank holiday. It was bank holiday on Friday, bank holiday on Monday as well. We just had NFP, so currently the market is going to be a little bit hard to analyze, but of course we are going to tackle it. So without further ado, let's make sure that you're subscribed and turn on the notification bell in order not to miss all the videos that are about to come out. And if you already are, let's jump into the video. Alright, as always, we're gonna get started with $1. Before we do that, I think it's important to have a look at the economic calendar. As I told you, we are currently in an Easter holiday, right? So on a very nice Easter weekend. Make sure that you spend some time with your family. And yeah, you pretty much see we had a bank holiday on Friday, we have a bank holiday on Monday, so the market is probably gonna be pretty slow because literally all the important central banks are closed, right? We have IMF meetings, so every single day we're having an IMF meeting. That could definitely be kind of impacting the market in some way, right? But pretty much the highlight of this week, we have retail sales right there, and we have CPI for the US. So absolutely very important. FOMC, CAT interest rate decision, right? Then on Thursday, we continue with some GDP for the pounds and initial jobless claim right there. Monetary policy meeting accounts for the euro. And on Friday, we have retail sales. And of course, IMF meeting, they keep going every day. So looks like a volatile week to me, like especially with the CPI for the US, right? We have FOMC as well. So I mean, Wednesday, it's going to be an absolute bomb after a bank holiday, after NFP, after Monday being also a bank holiday. Tuesday can open up a little bit funny, and then Wednesday is going to be a big day. Okay, so just kind of already reading a little bit ahead, I don't feel like we're going to have some very clean, flawless markets starting from next week, but of course, we're always going to flow with them. So what we have on the Dixie, again, if you remember, we're still kind of reacting from this little guy, this little demand right there that actually caused right here. Of course, it could be a liquidity grab. Definitely so far looks like a liquidity grab. But again, I get asked this question a lot, and I'm going to keep repeating it, right? For those that don't know. To me, a wick is a break, and I'm going to know that this is going to be a liquidity grab when it actually goes on and takes out the low. That's it. At this time right there, if you jump on the 50-minute, right? If you jump on the 50-minute exactly right there as it took out the low, I am going to be going shorts all the way down. Why? Well, because we took out a massive low, so I know that this can potentially cause the market to pull back. So when the 50-minute structure shifts bearish, I'm going to be taking shorts, right? But that does not mean that I immediately say, okay, this is a liquidity grab, so we're massively going to reverse. Because you can see, yeah, we're reacted from demand, reacted again. Like at first I had it like this, reaction, then we can do it like this. Again, this week reaction. So let's drop to the daily. And yeah, you can see this is pretty much kind of around the last resort. Maybe we can even refine it on the FOH. But yeah, here we have a daily structure break, and you can see kind of the daily higher low. Yeah, you can definitely place it like this. So we're still bearish on the daily. And again, yeah, this week, Monday kind of started with a nice push into the upside, and then we just massively dropped. So Monday and Tuesday were the biggest days. Look, funnily for me, I took 2 stop losses on Monday while there was a massive long. So I kind of really mismanaged my position. Very sad. Push, right? And then we have kind of 3 days of pullback. I think this should be a glitch. Yeah, this is already Monday, so next week. So on the daily, bearish. And then, yeah, when we jump on the FOH, it's getting right now very interesting because it's tricky. I mean, we had NFP right there, and it's not looking great. So my major lower high was right here. So this is where we broke structure down. That was supply. The market came in, reacted from supply, but then again, you can see kind of reacted, it came in, wicked it up, and then wicked it up again. So again, to me right now, if I'm extremely objective, well, this to me is a break of structure up, a trend change. Then ask the question, okay, what caused it? It's this, right? It's not these little guys right there. It's this guy. Again, I'm not sharing my rules for my valid ranges. And yeah, you can see we already kind of broke. We already came in, retested the zone and massively reacted. So this, yeah, well, this one is kind of 9 o'clock. So very, very strange candle. So there is not as much to say. So again, if this weekly zone is gonna hold, I mean, it could definitely hold. You can see we had a massive kind of a range manipulation initiation outside. So we came back eventually. We can expect for the market to continue going higher, right? But again, to me right now on the 4H, that is my major high low formation. We're still holding from it. So as long as we stay above it, I'm gonna be bullish. And I mean, even if we come back again, then if the 50-minute turns bullish, I'm gonna be looking to take a long trade on the dollar. Although we already know the overall narrative of the dollar is for it to go down overall, right? So let's see how it works out exactly right now, like with Friday's bank holiday, with Monday's bank holiday as well, which was paired with NFP. We had very low volume, which you see we have like some huge wicks right there. So I'm definitely going to be not trading on Monday because we have bank holiday. Then Tuesday, we're going to see how it opens. Then from there, we're going to flow. So that's my DXY analysis. I mean, we're still kind of on the weekly, we still have this massive demand zone. Daily is still bearish. Forward is kind of trying to shift bullish right there. So let's see how it responds from this demand. And of course, if we break below this demand, we shift bearish. And then from there, we can definitely start attacking the lows because again, 100, it's too far away. Somebody mentioned like the 100 level. But again, yes, round numbers are important, but pretty much what right now is holding price is this guy. So it's not 100, but it's 100.8, which is also a very nice round number. So if we definitely break below 100.8, then we can of course head to 100, but there is not really any recent demand to hold the price at there, right? So you can draw something like this, but I don't draw old demands, right? I draw the recent one, and this is the recent one that actually caused the alignment right there, and this is where we're responding from it right now. So that's the Dixie. Without complicating it too much, let's see what happens on the 4H, and then of course respectively we flow with the market. So as we touched on last week, Euro USD in terms of the weekly time frame is still bullish. While we had to look at the DXY, it actually had that little wick right there. So you can see this one actually held from the weekly zone. And technically right now we can be expecting this high to be taken, which is around 1.1050, which is again a pretty nice major number. This week we had an overall bullish week, right? It's not very strong. It's also not very weak. It kind of has wicks on top and the bottom, so not as much to extract, right? But again, still we had an overall bullish week. So again, overall my narrative is bullish. I mean, weekly is bullish, daily is also still bullish, although right now we're kind of responding from this zone on the left. But again, you can see the market reacts, takes it out, so it could react again. So currently, I mean, the daily shifted bullish right here. And again, you can see that last week we had this 50% pullback, and then on Monday we just massively started rolling into the highs. But I mean, this Monday was the previous week, right? So here we also had another break of structure, and right now you can see that this is our daily demand. So let me see if actually the daily resonates with the 4H, although I don't think so. Yeah. So no. So you can see this is why I focus on only one time frame. So in my personal trading, right, I don't look at daily because right now daily, of course, is bullish. But the 4-hourly time frame, if you see what happened this week, so this week actually, if you remember, we had this break of structure. So let's first build the narrative. This is where we had the break of structure according to me, and then it was right here that we actually caused a trend change, right? Then of course, to me, the higher low that caused the trend change was this right there, and this is where we got a long, exactly right there, because it's this actually that caused the higher high. Boom, retest, pullback. Okay. And then, of course, it gets tricky. This is why you need very systematic rules for marking up your structure. This was, to me, the higher low formation. So there were longs to be taken right there. The market actually gave a long, but then at the end, it rolled down and took out the low. So what we have right now is like a little bit of a choppy price, similar to the Dixie, is we actually have a trend change to the downside on the 4H, and pretty much our high is this. So, I mean, I can throw a forecast that of course the daily could prevail, so maybe we can short it all the way down to this kind of daily level, and then maybe from there it's gonna reverse. But I don't like to think in terms of maybes, because to me it doesn't make sense right now to tell you that this could happen. Wow, it's something completely different could happen, right? So if I focus on what is happening right now, well, again, according to me, we have a trend change to the downside. This is my major lower high right now. And how do you draw a demand right there? Well, maybe we can use like a different time frame if you have like wick. Well, this one looks good, right? But overall, yeah, it's roughly around there. So let's not make it complicated. I'm gonna personally take it like this. And then, of course, it's really going to be important to look at the 50-minute. I mean, the 50-minute on Friday was pretty messy. I mean, here we had NFP taking out the low, retracing all the way, so we're still bearish. But if I had, like, I want you to look at all of this. But that's really nice flat high. So if we manage to take all of those out, then make a nice trend change to the downside, that is when I can be very interested to take shorts, if also the DXY holds from the demand that I just showed you in a bit, right? So that is how I look at EU right now. Okay, so took out the high, then came in, reacted, then broke the low. So technically right now I am bearish, and I'm going to be bullish if the market breaks above, comes back to retest, and that is where I'm going to take a long trade, right? So again, I'm not married to my short. This is what I have right now. This is what I'm going to be doing on Monday and Tuesday. So regarding my performance, really not happy, really distracted, as I told you in the beginning, writing my thesis. So I took a couple of hits on EU and I missed on all the winners. The one that I really regret is, of course, we had our Thursday webinar with the team. So I shared some kind of performance flows in my performance this week. But I'm really not going to go into it right now because I don't have the trades, right? But I pretty much took 4 losses this week and 1 break even, right? And I missed on 2 winners. That would have made my week really profitable. But again, not every week is profitable. You have distractions, you have life, you have other stuff to do. You're going to be missing trades, especially if you're trading like on a lower time frame, if you are like in a meeting or if you go do something else. All it takes is like 1 minute to miss your entry, and then the market runs away from you. But again, tomorrow is another day, the next week is another week. You're gonna nail the trade. Just stick to your plan and you're gonna be good, right? So that's EU, bearish bias right now. Let's have a look at Euro JPY. So pretty much on Euro Yen, we repeat the same analysis for quite some time right now, but of course it's always important to build up the narrative, right? This is our weekly demand. Why? Because this is the last weekly break of structure and everything right there is internal. We came all the way down, but we did not break below this level, and we're currently kind of trying to react. We came in, we came out. Like this week, you can see it's a perfect kind of inside bar. So we did not do much, right? There is the high of the mother candle, the low, so we can expect a breakout. Where do you usually expect the breakout? In the direction of the higher time frame, which is bullish. So can we take out the high this week above here? In terms of the daily, I mean, I had a really hard time analyzing this one, I think last week's. I mean, where is the daily lower high? I mean, was this the break? And I mean, if you make this the break, then yeah, this one turns into your demand. We hold, then again, we have a new break, right? So right now, this is your new demand right there. And the market pushed, it pulled back. So I mean, definitely to me, this pair feels more bullish, and it definitely looks more bullish than it is bearish. So again, daily time frame is overall bullish right now. What really matters to me is what the Forex is doing, which again had a couple of little changes right there. Yeah, this is not valid. So pretty much this was our major higher low formation. The market pushed, it pulled back, kind of reacted. It should have taken the high, but it did not. And yeah, what it ended up doing right now is actually taking out the low, creating a bearish trend change. What caused it? Okay, so this one is tricky again, precisely according to my rules. Then this is the lower high. Okay, so tricky. I would have loved to actually have this as my lower high, but unfortunately I cannot take it. Of course, you can always do, right? But this is how I personally look at the market. To me, this is the range right now. We just pull back above 50%. And yes, this is a very nice valid supply base. But again, this is the major lower high right now. So what I really don't like is that, again, as I told you, it looks really bullish across all time frames. But right now on the Forex, it looks bearish. So is there a chance we short it all the way down to make a new lower low, tap inside daily demand, and then align bullish to take a long? That would be great, right? But right now, technically on the Forex, it is bearish to me, which again, sometimes what I have is like a massive bearish Forex, and then the 50-minute gets long, and then it breaks the Forex, right? But what I ended up doing is I'm not married also to the bearish bias on the Forex. I take, what the hell did I just do? All right, there we go. We take all of these longs right there on the 50-minute because again, we flow with the intraday momentum. Okay, so I mean, if we get any shorts from here in terms of the 50-minute, you know that, for example, Euro USD as well is kind of getting in a short buy. So this is why Euro Yen right now is looking on the shorter term a little bit more shorts. So if you start getting any shorts, I will be interested to take a short on EJ, but just keep in mind that, of course, the hard time frames are bullish. So any short you take is a low probability trade because you're trading against the macro time frames. Okay. But this is a potential zone we can be looking at to take a long trade or maybe to see the market push down. If I look at Elliott wave again, which is something that I like usually doing, right? We had a little practice on our last webinar with the community. Right, so there are your 5 waves, right? So 5 waves, then we have the A, B, C, right? So right now it's technically ready to go up. Okay, so if the 50-minute actually continues to push into the highs, I will be definitely confident to take long trades. I mean, I'm confident to take a long from here, confident to take a long from here, and maybe if it aligns, I am always flowing with the recent momentum. So again, why I tell you this is because I tell you that the fall is bearish, but that does not mean I'm not gonna take longs. Okay, so let's see how it works out. This is how I look at the market right now. Again, according to my rules, this is the high, this is the low. Let's see how it works out. But again, if you have different rules, you can have this as your hourly break, right? And then of course, right now the market is making hard highs. So again, figure out how exactly you want to draw structure for your strategy. Interesting weekly candle on the Aussie. We have so first we had an inside bar last week, and as you can see, I usually tell you the mother candle is gonna either get the high or the low taken. We took out the high and then we massively rejected down. So again, what I can see from this pair is that we have massive selling pressure coming in. And I mean, this candle is a great example of a candle that really shows me, oh, sellers were here. We pushed all the way up, massively rejected, and also closed bearish. So this to me is a great bearish signal on the weekly. So let's see if we can frame it maybe even on the daily. Yes, we can. Why? Well, because here we had our daily supply, and you can see here on Monday, we just went on straight and took out this high. Okay, so took out this high. So again, you can say, so right now I can actually tell you this was a liquidity grab. Okay, but I tell you this in hindsight, right? Because again, as it happened, I did not know whether this is a liquidity grab. Of course, you can trade away from it, but then at that time for me, well, I would say, well, this definitely could be a break of structure. There is my demand zone, so I'm technically looking for longs. Okay, and this is how I do it. So again, and then of course, eventually what I did, it took out the low, right? So what I can say right now, well, I don't say, oh, liquidity grab, so I'm taking away. No, I say, well, break of structure up, break of structure down. Right now, I'm bearish. Simple, okay? And of course, this has a couple of drawbacks, but a great example, what I'm going to show you right now is the Forex, right? So Forex did all of this madness. I remember what I told you guys last week. Don't trade the Aussie until Tuesday's interest rate decision, because what we had is all that range. So what the market does, takes the range, and then it goes in the opposite direction. So pretty much that was the narrative we had. But again, you can see the manipulation happened with a massive kind of break of structure, which then formed this demand, right? But then what you can see happening is then again from this high, we started trending down, down and down and down and down, and then eventually we broke. So does that mean that I actually stay married to a long bias and really try hard to go long? No. Because if I jump on the 50-minute, the market shifted, break of structure down, short, here kind of shifted up and down. So we can be taking shorts everywhere. Then the market made this kind of protraction, then just massively dropped. There is a short right there. So I am taking shorts, right? Of course, when it comes in right there, I'm going to wait for the 50-minute to align, which it did, but it did not provide me a setup, right? And then on the next day, it just started dropping. So I actually did not get an opportunity for a single long on Aussie dollar, even though we were bullish on the Forex, right? So which is why I always believe it's very important, especially for day traders, to be flowing with the current momentum. So yes, this is your higher time frame, right? But again, higher time frame, usually sometimes even the lower time frames work better than the higher ones, because they show you, okay, what is happening right now. So again, just to get back to the analysis, we have right now like a similar situation we have on all the other pairs. NFP calls like a little kind of a spike right there. And you can see, yeah, I mean, to me, this one is definitely looks like a stupid liquidity grab spike. But again, I take wicks as break. So I say, well, this is a trend change. We're bearish right now. I drop my supply and I am short bias on Aussie. right? Because I'm kind of extremely systematic, so I don't want to think. I don't want to say, I think this is a liquidity gap. I think this is gonna happen. No, that's my breakout structure down. That's my supply. So on Monday, if Monday comes in, I'm gonna be looking for the market to come inside here. If the 50-minute gives me a short setup, I'm gonna take a short. If we break above, cool. Breakout structure, trend change bullish on the 4H, and then I'm gonna start looking for longs. So again, if I am to give you two outlooks, there is one, there is two. What you gotta do is you gotta wait to see what's gonna happen, and of course flow with the lower time frame. So that's the Aussie. Bearish so far. From that weekly candle, I'm getting a lot of bearish vibe. I'm getting bearish vibes on EU as well, which can mean that we might get that overall bullishness on the USD, which I don't see a lot. But again, as I told you, we're sitting inside this massive weekly demand. We're still staying above this level that is currently holding price. And if the 4H right there actually ends up holding, I think like Aussie, Euro, NZD/USD as well, they can flush. So again, let's see. We have CPI, we have IMF, we have lots of news. Let's not make too many predictions. Aussie Yen, bearish. So we have a bearish breakout structure right there on the weekly. This week on the weekly, we had even a deeper pullback, and then again, we massively rejected. So again, a very nice bearish weekly candle telling me that we have definitely a nice bearish narrative. Again, in terms of the daily, I mean, yeah. Well, you can say this is why I don't use the daily. I mean, the daily always confuses me because there is a breakout structure here. There is a breakout structure up right there. And then technically right now, the daily is bullish, but the 4 hour is going to be absolutely bearish, right? So again, you can look at it two ways. I mean, yeah, you can see weekly bearish, daily bullish, and right now 4 hour is going to be bearish probably. Yeah. So what we had is the market pushing up again on Monday. We had this very sharp push on Monday, which again caused the breakout structure. And then the market actually even shifted from right there because it wicked the high and then immediately broke the low. So that is your 4 hourly shift of structure right there. Right, so actually it shifted way earlier. So if you could have taken a short right there, that would have been great. So maybe go check out the 50-minute, right? And then we push up, down, pull back. Then we have another lower high, lower low, lower high. Yep, we broke right here as well. What caused it? This is the major high right now. And yeah, you can see I'm not loving the structure, but we're technically bearish, staying below this major high, right? So let's see. I mean, I want to say I'm bearish, definitely. I mean, on the 4H, we're definitely bearish. But again, we can see on the daily, like in this case, we have a little bit of a conflict between the time frames. But again, if you go to the weekly once again, it's bearish. But if you go to the quarterly, it's going to be bullish, below 50%. So again, guys, time frames really matter, but you got to get them systematic. So which time frames are most important for you? On which time frames do you want to get your direction from? And this is what you listen, because if you do all of them, you're going to get confused and you're constantly going to have conflict. And this is why your trading strategy is probably not working. Okay. So this is currently the price action we have to work with. I don't like it. I mean, yeah, currently the 50-minute range is this. So if this holds and if we have like a trend change down right there, I could be interested to take a short, but I would definitely wait for the 50-minute to turn bearish before I take a trade, or I would just skip trading this pair, because if you just look at the overall range, it does not look good. If we break up, then of course we can start aligning bullish, because that is what currently the fall is showing us. So this is maybe where the market wants to go. So keep an open mind. I mean, the Aussie dollar definitely looks like a little bit bearish. AJ is also bearish, but it kind of looks a little bit choppy, which is maybe because of UJ, which we're going to explore in a bit. So those are the Aussies. Let's have a look at the NZDs. Similar candle on the NZD/USD. You can see we have a massive wick on top, rejecting then. And as you know, the overall range is this. And last week we mentioned that we don't have a 50% pullback yet. There it is. We went above 50. Probably there is like some sort of supply within those wicks, right? We can maybe go and explore what is in there. But is this pair ready to get shorted? Let's see. Daily time frame, again, as I told you, we also had interest rate for the NZD, I believe, or some sort of news. Chop, 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 boom. Massive expansion into the high, taking us into like 50% of the weekly. And then again, we had an immediate reaction down. So if you look objectively on the daily, I mean, the daily structure shifted here. So that was the daily higher low that caused it. And then we broke up with a wick, then that was the higher low that caused it, then we broke up, then it shifts here. And yeah, I mean, technically the daily is still bullish. Man, I hate the daily. Some people love the daily, but they don't use it for structure. They use it to kind of judge, okay, what did the last daily candle do? So what is actually logical for the next daily candle to do, right? But in terms of structure, it could also be this guy, right? But again, I'm even gonna ignore the daily right now because I'm starting to overthink. Okay, let's drop to the Forex. Much simpler. What did we have? We had a massive uptrend. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Wow, I mean, this is massive. Like, you even got a long right there on Monday. Look at that. So hopefully some of you guys actually got those longs. What we have later is this right here. Not entirely valid. Right, but yeah, then we have a push down, push up, and then we have a trend change right there. Did we wick this low? Okay, we did not wick this low, so it's still actually holding even from this guy right there. But again, so this is our structure break, push, pullback. Like, yeah, pretty similar to all the other pairs, guys. Right, we have this massive wick down, which then caused like this supply. The market is already into it, and it's already deep into it. But I mean, yeah, you don't want to trade this. So, I mean, you can't trade this pretty much because we had this massive spike lower and then the market just started chopping. I mean, there is your chop on Friday, right? Bank holiday, NFP, very low volume, very low liquidity, massive spikes, and then it just continues to chop around. So I personally really want to let Monday play out because Monday is a bank holiday. So even let Tuesday play out and even Wednesday, because Wednesday we have CPI. So I guess next week could be a little bit tough. So yeah. You get the point. So let's see, bearish buys right now. That is my lower high. If this breaks, then I'm going to be looking for longs to see how I can get involved on longs. But again, guys, my message for you is wait for Monday, wait even for Tuesday. Tuesday, you can do some trading because Tuesday will be volatile as the banks are opening. And then Wednesday, we have CPI. So we got to be extra careful this week. NJ, so I hate breaking down this pair. I'm so tired of it. I mean, yeah, we broke on the weekly. So yeah, we're bearish on the weekly. So it's starting to get a little bit fun. Daily time frame, again, I mean, the daily is going to be a confusion right now. Because again, where is your daily structure? Well, according to me, like we had a break of structure right there. Is this your lower high? Is this your lower high? Could be both. They kind of got broken. So technically, again, bullish. The daily is going to be bullish. Coming in from here. Weekly is bearish. And then Forex is going to be bearish as well. We came in. Oh, look at that pattern right there. So again, I mean, guys, this is a liquidity grab. Okay. And usually you're going to know when it happens immediately. So at that time, when this bullish candle printed, then again, that was your higher low formation. But you can see on the next candle, immediate bearishness, and then it just broke. So I mean, that is a prime example of a very fast liquidity grab, right? And then again, of course, as this happened right here, technically, where is it? Yeah, technically you should be looking like to take longs from here because this is what caused it. But then the market immediately came in and shifted the 50-minute structure to bearish. Exactly right there. The 50-minute structure shifted to bearish. And then, of course, all you have to do is take shorts. And then all of a sudden, the fall is also shorts. So again, that is why 2 time frames is all you need. And that relationship between your major and minor time frame is going to make all the difference. So right now, break structure down, break structure down. Major lower high is this. Yeah, no, this is a shit wick because we took out the low and then, yeah, so I'm gonna ignore this candle because of another rule we have when it comes to structure and when it comes to specifically these candles right there. We are still bearish, trading below this lower high. So NJ is bearish. I mean, if you come in right there and if you get a good setup on the 50-minute, which looks absolutely terrible right now, you can definitely be looking to strike. And yeah. So weekly is bearish. I really love the pattern right there. I really love the range, the spike above the range, and then the immediate shift of structure to the downside. So I definitely think we can get, well, it's not about what I think, but of course what could happen. We could have another leg to the downside. Because even if you look at my, I have to explore this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can expect the 5th wave to the downside. Right, so let's see. This is my call on NJ. Let's see if it goes shorts, and if it breaks above, I'm gonna go long. Right, I don't care about forecasts. I care about like catching what is gonna happen today. Let's have a look at the DXY, but for the JPY pairs, and that is USD yen. So again, just to recap, this is our major weekly lower high, and we're still technically bearish on the weekly. And again, this immediately tells us that we can potentially project like this level being taken out as a weak low. Okay, this weekly candle, I mean, it took out the previous weekly candle high, rejected, closed bearish, overall kind of a doji like, right? So does not contain a lot of information. And yeah, then you go to the daily where the confusion kicks in, right? Because here what we have is a daily breakout structure right there. What caused it? Well, you can say it's this, right? Or you can say it's this at the bottom, right? And you can see the market comes in, react. So right now the question is it just a reaction for it to break down, or is it gonna go on and make a new daily high? Okay. So again, what matters is what the forward is doing right now. So let's check out the Forex, right? So we came in, we pushed up, we broke down. There is your first short, right? It did not came up to the forward supply, but it came in above 50%, which is all you need. So then drop to the 15-minute and ask yourself, how can I get a short right there, right? Or even to a lower time frame. Forward breakout structure down. Here we have, we have some chops. So yeah, this is similar to another pair we had. Especially when it comes to like, I mean, you can even take this whole thing because this whole thing got engulfed by this candle. So in this case, you can take the whole thing, right? Or you can do like an 8-hourly zone. I mean, yeah, even you can do like this. I mean, you choose how to pick your zones. But again, this is where the massive engulfing candle occurred. It engulfed all of this buy to sell range, so you can take the whole thing. Okay, we are tapping inside. The forward time frame is still bearish according to me. Okay, so according to you, it could be here. And you could be bullish according to me and my rules. This is the high right there. We're tapping inside right now. So all I need to see right now is how the 50-minute is going to play out. Okay, 50-minute right now massively expanded bullish. So I would love to see it. Why did my zone get wrong? Did I move it anyhow? Oh yeah, there it is. So what I want to see right now is it like the market pull back maybe a little bit, come in again, and then maybe start shifting down. That is when I'm going to take a short. But I'm only going to take a short if I see that bearishness on the 15-minute. So let's see. USD looks bearish right now. Of course, if you also consider this, because you can also take this as a thing, you could be having this sort of situation right now, just looking at it from both perspectives, and you could be bullish right now in terms of like this on the Forex. Okay. So again, always consider all choices and try to flow with the market. I mean, sometimes you can say, okay, well, I wish to play the short scenario, but I would also play the long scenario. Because trading is all about probabilities. But of course, you got to be systematic with the way you mark structure and the way you trade. So let's see. To me, I'm still going to maintain this bearish stance with this kind of supply level right there. But if the market continues to go long on the 15-minute, right? So like, for example, if it continues to make like 15-minute higher highs and higher lows and keeps giving me long opportunities on the 15-minute, I'm going to long it. Because why not? I mean, we can definitely be bullish as well. So that's my UJ. Keep in mind, again, daily is bullish, weekly is bearish, forward is bearish. Which time frame do you listen to? I let the decision to you. Personally, I'm going to be observing any shorts taken from right there. And even if the 50-minute provides me any long right there, I can also take a long. So let's see, let's flow. And again, wait for more signs because again, Monday is going to be slow. We just got NFP and the market will need some time to really show you where it wants to go. Looking at UCATs this week, it did not do much, I think. Pretty much if we have a look at the weekly candle, it went down, it went up, it closed almost as a perfect kind of indecision candle doji. But again, we can see that there was a rejection from the bottom, which again tells us something that there are buyers entering. But then of course you go to the daily, and the daily is this massive bearish leg. So again, the daily is bearish, and pretty much what we had is a flush on Monday. And then 4 days of a kind of a very, very, very slow pullback. And if you drop on the Forex, I mean, it really depends right there, because right here we have like a little bit of a trickery if you take again the wicks as breaks, because here we technically kind of took out the low and then immediately we reversed and kind of took out the high, and then we came in again and took out the low and took out the high. So this little situation right there is even tricky for me. I gotta work with hash to fix this, to figure this out, because yeah, I mean, this is a tricky situation right there in terms of really kind of systematic structure, because you see we broke the low, we broke the high, then we broke the low again, and we then went on broke the high. But then you can see if you actually start taking the bullish scenarios like this, I mean, yeah, there is your long trade, then the market broke again, there is your other long trade right there. So again, the longs are currently in control. If you, however, don't consider these anything to be a break, then this is your range right there, and that is your lower high. So again, don't exclude this possibility as well. So just to kind of again think in terms of scenarios. If you take this recent bullish scenario, there it is. So that's the last break, and yeah. So okay, in this case, man, this UCAT is driving me crazy, even in terms of structure. Yeah, okay, it's this. Yeah, I think. Yeah, okay, so yeah, this is the first pair that is actually giving me a hard time to even apply my rules. Yeah. So I'm gonna take it like that, okay? So bearish and bullish scenario, man, this pair is really kind of making me embarrassed right now because I can't figure it out. So yeah, this is how I look at it. If we ignore all of that messiness right there, the market could still be bearish, trading from this major lower high. But if you start taking like this is a break, this is the last break. What caused the last break? To me, it's this. So if it could of course also be this, right? So I'm doubting on it. Right, I'm doubting whether it's this or this, right? Because you can see like the way they form with all of these wicks, right? All of these consolidations, it's not clear, even to me. So let's see how it goes. Currently, like the recent order flow is bullish. But if we start kind of getting a 50-minute bearish signals, I will be really curious to short because I know we're tapping into a massive zone right there on the left. Okay, so let's say, I mean, you can definitely have something like this. You can have a new higher high, and then when maybe the market is gonna shift down. So I really need time, guys, on this one. So if I am so confused, because you literally saw me confused right there. Okay, what is valid? What is the higher low? What is this? What is that break? I just freaking leave the pair. I'm not gonna spend time trying to figure out, okay, what is valid, because if I find it hard to find out what is valid and what is not, then pretty much it's not for me. It's not good market. It's not clean structure. So again, wait on Monday. Wait on Wednesday, wait for the CPI, wait for, I mean, look at that. Let me just remind you, CAT, interest rate decision. Of course, it's going to be choppy before Wednesday. So again, cut it out a little bit, avoid all of this confusion, avoid getting stopped out because the 50-minute, I mean, look at the 50-minute. Just boom up, down, Star Wars candle. Right, so wait on it a little bit, don't get confused, and let's see how it works after Wednesday, and that is when I can personally come back and check UCAT and then see what's gonna happen. So UCAT, not a very high probability pair according to me right now. Let's have a look at the pound pairs. We're having a very interesting situation on the weekly right there, because if you remember, for quite some time, I mean, we had clean structure. The market came in right there and actually took out this high by very little, but it is there. Then we have taken out the low as well, again by very little. So you can see usually why I don't trade GU personally is because it's a huge fan of liquidity grabs. And again, I like pairs that, for example, a wick break like this is usually going to cause a continuation, but GU is not one of those. So just to let you know, right? Takes out the high, reverses, takes out the low, reverses. You can see take out the high on one side, take out the high on the other side. And then what we did this week is we went on and took out the high on the other side, right? So again, I mean, you can definitely build a massive trading strategy from this, but it's just not something that I like. But again, I'm still gonna align with it. Weekly time frame right now, well, to me, it's bullish. Can this be a liquidity grab? Can we do something like this? Absolutely GU-like. Absolutely could happen, okay? Which is why, again, it's important to flow with the 4-hourly time frame. Daily, I mean, the daily shifted here, and the daily never shifted bearish. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low right there, right? Our highs and our lows, right? And it just kept flowing up. It never gave us a signal. I mean, I think it did. Yeah, here. So here we kind of shifted down. But yeah, then we just came in and just massively broke through this level. I mean, there was not even a reaction. I mean, the 50-minute, we did the 50-minute shift bearish. That's the 50-minute higher low. Nope. So you did not even get a short opportunity right there, which is amazing, which is why you always need a confirmation. You don't just plot out a sell right there on the 4-hourly zone. Well, yeah, I mean, what do we have right now? We have broken this massive high, which I think I actually said it's gonna break last week, because I had like a zone like this. So I have to double check what I was actually telling you guys, because I don't remember. I don't trade GU, so I don't know. There is a push, and this is not. Yeah, this is not valid to me, which really sucks. That really sucks. So again, guys, you can look at it the two ways. You can either say that this is your valid higher low, which to me it is, which sucks, but also you can say that this is your valid higher low, which just got broken. So on the majority of the pairs, this one is the higher low, and we have this like recent break, which introduces this very recent supply zone, right? So you can definitely take a short. On this pair, you can look at it at two ways. Again, you can also look at it from a bullish perspective, because again, this to me is not entirely valid. Definitely is kind of valid according to some rules, but again, to other rules, it's not, right? So, I mean, let's see. This week is very, especially this weekly outlook, it's very kind of based on scenarios and on, how to say, like different interpretations of price. If you think that this is the higher low, then you're bullish. If you think that this is the higher low, you're bearish, right? So you have to consider both. And again, the difference between time frames is also pretty tricky right now. So let's see. Again, then you have one key time frame, the 50 minute. What's the 50 minute right now? Well, it's bearish right now, so you take shorts. If we come in right there and we start shifting down again, I'm gonna take shorts. If we break above the zone and the 50 minute is bullish, I'm gonna take longs. Okay, so which is why, again, the best skill for trading is to flow with the markets and know what is happening right now. Okay, so that's my GU. Okay, that's my GU. You can definitely start taking shorts from here, considering that this is your major lower high formation. But if you get a long setup anytime, you can also feel confident, because again, the overall sentiment to me is long. But of course, that can change very fast, because again, like for example, EU, it caused the break. AU, where is it? It caused the break. Right, so all the pairs cause the break, and then usually GU is eventually also going to follow up on that. But let's see, GJ, what it's doing. Weekly time frame, yeah, this one is still bullish on the weekly coming in from here. It kind of making these, so it took out this high, rejected. Daily time frame, let's check it out. Well, yeah, I mean, the daily is tricky. If you think that this is a break, then this is your breakdown. So daily is bearish right now. Right, depending on if you look at it like this, some of you might say that this is my higher low. So again, have rules, because again, guys, structure also needs to be systematized, because where I was going wrong for a very long time, and why I have a masterful edge right now, which I'm not gonna share publicly, is that I know what is my higher low and what is not, right? Because then again, what I did in the past, okay, this is my low, this is my high. Well, no. Then, okay, is it this guy? Is it this guy? Is it this guy? Is it this guy? Which one is it? Okay, so you gotta figure this out. So dropping onto the FOH, well, I just remove everything and just focus on my time frame. This is where we had a break of structure. Okay, and then you can ask the question, okay, what caused it? And again, similar to all the JPY pairs, they have this like massive high. Okay, so like in this case, you can say that this is your lower high or this is your lower high, but again, to me, it's not, because I have specific rules on the FOH. This is supply. Okay, this is definitely supply, so the market can definitely short from here. You should be looking to short from here based on supply. But if this one breaks, you cannot say that the quality is bullish, according to me. Okay, so I mean, as with all the other pairs that I just told you about, it needs a little bit of time. I mean, I wouldn't really jump on Monday and start striking. You can see like the 50 minute just kind of got a chop, pushed up, aligned bearish. So I mean, if this was live market right now, I could be looking for something like this. Okay, but personally, I'm gonna give it some time, wait for it to align, wait for it to show me what it wants to do. But I'm getting a bearish sentiment right now on GJ, and of course, don't forget that the weekly is bullish, that the daily is, yeah, the daily is questionable whether it's bullish or bearish. But yeah, the quality is bearish right now, so this is what I follow until I'm proven wrong. And again, don't forget, I mean, the market can give you longs, 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 longs on the 50 minute, then eventually break. Am I gonna be on all of those longs? Maybe not all of them, but the majority of them, yes, I will be. Because if the 50 minute goes long, then I follow it until I'm wrong, right? That was very nice rhyme right there. So those are the GBPs. Let's see how they play out. I'm very skeptical right now to throw any kind of specific forecast, because we have bank holiday on Monday, we have CPI on Wednesday, so a lot of things could happen. So again, guys, flow with the markets. Let's have a quick look at gold. So we have very nice bullishness on gold, which is very nice to see. And I mean, yeah, we were pretty bullish on the weekly. We had a push, we had a very brief pullback, and the market is already coming in and taking out the high. And then if we drop to the daily, we also had a break. So if I just remove all of this, we took out the week high, which was the pretty much the forecast. We have a daily break. And yeah, I mean, here we can again debate. I would personally take this as my higher low formation. You can also take this one. It does not make a very huge difference, but again, like this to me is the last kind of daily demand zone, right? You can of course sometimes embrace it like this, and then if we just jump on the 4H, you can see that on the 4H what we have right now is a break of structure here and then a break of structure down there. So again, to me right now, the 4-hourly time frame is bearish, and we just had a break of structure right there as well, which is valid, which has this as a supply zone and this as a lower high. So again, I mean, being bullish, why are those appearing like this? So let me just do that. So if you have like a bullish daily and then a bearish 4H, well, right now, of course, the daily pushed. The 4-hourly time frame has to shift in order to pull back on the daily and then in order to expand, right? So again, keep in mind that gold has an overall really bullish narrative. Right now, we're in a kind of a complex correction. So if your daily is your major time frame, then the 4-hourly is your minor one. Well, this is what you have. An uptrend, but again, you follow the 4H until it shifts up, right? So that's gold. I mean, if it pulls back right there, I would be interested to take a short. Then again, I pretty much see it. Maybe we come back. This is a very strong, that's a very strong zone. We can potentially project the market to come in and retest. This whole thing right there is like a daily demand. So I will be interested to see if the market comes all the way here, how it's going to respond. But again, I will be looking for a 4-hourly bullish alignment before I take my long trade. So let's see. This is how I look at it right now. It's short-term bearish. This is the lower high formation. Let's see what happens. And let me know, guys, in the comment. Do you think that gold is going to retest all the way towards, like, let's say 1980? Let me know. Let's look at some indices. Starting from US 30, we're having an overall bullish week. It's not very strong, it's not very big, but of course it's bullish. And as we're going to be dropping right now onto the lower time frame, you're going to see we had like of a little consolidation right there. So again, we had Monday pump, and then of course pretty much all the days were chopping around. So not much to take on US 30 this week. 4-hourly time frame, again, I still think, I mean, this is slightly debatable right there. Once again, if we have like a break and then if we have a breakdown, we definitely could have, but when you have like wicks like this that take the high, take the low, then yeah, it gets a little bit tricky. But again, you can look at it in two perspectives, right? You can say that it's bearish right now and this is your supply. You can even take it like this. But of course, to me, this long bias still remains intact. But again, what you can see is happening right now, guys. Again, we have CPI. Next week, we have major news. So the market, of course, it's going to chop. So what my tip for you is not to rush too much, because right now, technically, we are a little bit in a range. If you have a look at like the most recent price action since Tuesday, it's a range. Okay. So my biggest tip is avoid trading US 30 until CPI, because then you're going to have a shakeout, and that is when you're going to start having a clear trend. Okay. So this is how I look at it. I mean, US 30 doesn't look very good if we compare it to NASDAQ. Like NASDAQ tapped inside this supply zone and printed a bearish candle, which is nice. Daily time frame again. So daily time frame is still bullish. This is the break of structure. That is the daily demand. We're still bullish. I mean, we're already even below 50%. We pulled back. We got a reaction from that. And yeah, then again, the 4-hourly time frame, we broke up here. Then we broke down there. So then if you can look for some short trades right there, that's great. We had a break of structure down there as well. And here we also had kind of this wicky situation, right? It kind of broke down. But then, yeah, I can say that this one is bullish with confidence because it's valid, right? And yeah, so technically this is the demand, and right now we're forming this, which is technically just about to break. And if it breaks, then it's gonna break in a very shitty manner, which is gonna make like this our low. So not loving the price action on NASDAQ, especially how it ended up. I mean, here you could have looked for some sort of a short trade. I mean, that could be the only opportunity for this week. Then it dropped, little pullback, lower low, broke up trend change. And right now it's potentially making kind of a higher low formation. So if this breaks above, then of course that will be your setup. Keep in mind, like there's going to be that supply right there that is going to come in. That was not fully retested. Right, but if you break above this 4-hourly level right there, we're gonna have a higher high, so then higher low, and you can take a long trade. Okay, but once again, as I said with US 30, avoid trading indices this week because we have CPI, and nowadays CPI is even more volatile than NFP and like everything else. S&P keeps kind of rolling to the upside. It gave a little wick down, it gave a wick up, and then it closed as indecision. So again, pretty choppy week. Again, Monday pushed up, Tuesday down, and then we have like a little bit of a recovery. If you check out the 4H, had a break up, had a break down, had a breakdown right there. And then, yeah, we have this kind of a shitty situation right there because it took out the low, then immediately took out the high, right? But technically it kind of made a trend change. And even if you still take this guy, we still have a bullish market. And yeah, this is the last higher low formation. This is the last break we have. So yeah, I mean, S&P is bullish. Keep in mind, we have this very strong supply. You can again take this buy and then a massive sell-off. So this is a pretty strong supply. You can also take it like this. And again, as I keep saying, very huge week incoming next week. So stay patient and don't rush into very kind of a risky trades. Okay. In terms of like the fear and greed index, we're back into greed. Right, you can see here we tapped into the MA, we dipped below it, but then we immediately backed up, and right now we're kind of trying to push up back into these kind of resistance areas of 4,200. And yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen. We're back into this level, we kind of keep bouncing from this. So are we gonna anytime soon have a stock market dip? I don't know. I personally did not buy any S&P as it was down there because I wanted to see a little bit bigger. Like the best time would have been March. Course, somewhere right there, but I still at that time I thought we were gonna be rushing to take out all these lows. So I mean, that would have been a great buy point already. Kind of from here, if you bought just on average, you would have been already 6% up, which is great. So I mean, that's indices. On the short term, that's it. We're bullish right now. Let's see how it plays out. But personally, I'm just observing and staying aside and focusing on Forex right now, because I mean, I really want to see some more clarity with the indices before I start investing. But again, I mainly trade US 30, which right now is not looking very good. I mean, crypto once again is starting to chop around big time. This is what happens. You have a massive chop, then you have a massive move, then you have a massive chop, then you have a massive move, right? So wait on it. I mean, this is the last kind of clean rally-based rally. So if the market pulls back towards this zone, definitely like 25k all the way to 24. So we have this kind of key zone right there that can act as a very strong demand. So if we throw a very nice manipulation spike towards this area, it could be start looking for some longs, right? And Ethereum as well is starting to keep recovering to the upside. But again, as I keep saying, I don't look much at crypto right now. But again, it's definitely getting more interesting for intraday trading, for momentum trading, because we can see it's starting to get a little bit more momentum in the markets. So I want to wrap it up here. I want to keep it short. I want to keep it simple. Again, my main message for right now is keep in mind Wednesday, we have CPI, we have interest rates for CAT, we have other news, we have retail sales, we have GDP, we have lots of news incoming after a bank holiday, which usually is pretty huge. So again, trade safe, follow your plan, flow with the markets, don't get married to any setups, don't get married to any outcomes, and again, just allow for the market to show you what it wants to do, and then of course you just go with it. Wishing you a lovely Easter celebration, and talk to you on Tuesday.